Brian, when you're working with a financial advisor, it's really important to understand their motivations and their qualifications.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we have to ask these questions. I've had so many people come to me and they tell me they've been meeting with someone and they're telling them how great their stuff is that they're selling them. And they'll even, what I hear often, and that's a new thing coming up is, and they don't charge me a fee. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're working for free out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying desperately to get you as a client. They're calling you every other day saying, why won't you sign up? And they don't get paid. Does this sound right to you?
No.
It doesn't to me either. I have heard just in the last month multiple examples of people telling me that the advisor says that they don't get paid or that someone else is going to pay their fee. One of them even told me that Amazon was going to pay their fee on a Delaware statutory trust. I said, you really think Amazon's going to take out their pocketbook, write a $100,000 check to pay the commission to you as a broker to get a DST for you because they just like you so much? I don't think that's how the world works. So we have to understand the motivations of people. If they say that something is terrible, some investment is terrible, we've already discussed in other videos here, there is no terrible investment. There can be after the fact, but there's no terrible investment class. There's positive and negative attributes to everything. So if somebody says, my thing is perfect and everybody else is terrible, run, walk, get out of there. Don't talk to them anymore, because that just isn't true. So we have to understand the person sitting across from you is going to make money off of what they put you in, or they're not. And they may only be motivated to talk about the stuff that they want to put you into because they get paid. So understand those motivations. And one other point to that, make sure you understand it's okay to ask people, how do you get paid? And if they say, I don't, then get up and walk away.
Right. So beyond motivation, I would think the next thing is qualifications. How do you determine someone's qualifications to work with you?
Yeah, competency. One of the things that I think is helpful is, I kind of share the story about, if you go to a lot of these seminars and so forth, like for lunch or dinner, and the speaker says the stock market's terrible, it's going to crash. You need to protect your money, you need cash flow, you need my annuities and such. Basically, they're a hammer and everybody in that room looks like a nail to them. And so if they can't even offer other things, of course they're going to say they're not good. But I would say the best portfolio I've seen has stocks in it, has fixed index annuities, fixed index universal life, Delaware statutory trust, REITs, all different kinds of asset classes in it. That's a great balanced portfolio potentially for someone. So if you have somebody that's not going to offer you a balanced portfolio because they can't, if they're not licensed to provide stock market investing and insurance products and real estate and understand it, then it's probably not going to be a great match for you.
So it sounds like what you're saying, Brian, is that it's important to find an advisor who has an expertise in multiple areas of financial planning and not just one.
Yeah, it kind of sounds obvious when I hear it that way, but yeah, it's kind of like hiring a contractor and they only have a hammer.
Right.
Well, I need some wood, cut. Well, I can break that. Well, it's not a real straight edge there with that hammer there. So yeah, I mean, it sounds obvious, but the funny thing is most people do not have financial advisors that just have all these different disciplines. And I left out the tax part. We'll talk about that in another video, how important that is as an overlay to all of this. But most advisors aren't actually licensed even to offer to different products that you may need or have the expertise to help you out with them.
When someone has multiple disciplines like that, is communication greatly improved?
Yes, very much so. And it really starts with a financial plan, an integrated financial plan that looks at your real estate and your stocks and your insurance, your cash flow, liquidity, growth, security, taxes, legacy, everything. All the things we're talking about in this series of videos really is encapsulated in that approach. So a really good, effective financial plan integrates all these different areas. Don't go with a one-trick pony that says, the only thing out there that's good is annuities, or I hate everything that isn't the stock market or whatever. It's probably not going to be appropriate for you.
Brian, in your many years of doing this, do you have an example, maybe a client story of someone who has come to you who has been sold the wrong product?
Yeah, pretty much everybody I meet has had some negative interaction with somebody trying to sell them something. I have obviously seen some really terrible things where an annuity salesperson sells a 80-something-year-old woman a 14-year surrender charge annuity. I don't know how that got through compliance, but just saying that sometimes they oversold something because they got a commission. And it's not just annuity salespeople, it's stock market people, it's real estate people, it's everybody out there. They want to get paid. And so I've seen very inappropriate things where they put too many assets in something that's illiquid for something that's old. They didn't consider all the different features of that particular product because they only sold that product. So I'd say if you take nothing else from this video, if you're talking to a financial advisor and they really are a one-trick pony, that's probably not going to be a great thing for you.
Brian, thanks for telling us about how to vet a financial planner.